So, after Disney's latest live action Snow White opening weekend, the numbers and reviews are in. And oh boy, Snow White didn't just flop. It face planted, rolled downhill, caught on fire at the bottom, and will go down in the history books Hall of Shame. What started as a simple fairy tale reboot spiraled into one of the worst box office disasters in Disney's history. Now, you guys absolutely crushed the like goal on the last video, meaning I had no choice but to watch the movie and suffer through a whole hour and 49 minutes. Alrighty, so that's an hour 45 minutes I'll never get back. So, I'm here to give you the rundown, sharing my thoughts along with the actual opening weekend numbers and reviews that explain how this so-called modern retelling turned into Disney's biggest flops of all time. But first, let's just be honest, the warning signs were there from the start. This disaster didn't start on release day. It started way back when Disney dropped the trailer, and instead of excitement, fans responded with 1.8 million dislikes, making it the most disliked trailers in recent cinematic history. So, despite all of Disney's little tactics to try salvage this movie, we all kind of knew which direction this was heading. Because this new live-action Snow White wasn't just a downgrade. It was a full-blown identity crisis wrapped in glitter, gaslighting, and theatrical monologues that belong in a high school play. They didn't just remake a classic, they stripped it of its soul, microwaved it in ideology, and served it up cold with a side of woke. The original 1937 Snow White is a timeless fairy tale, a cultural monument, Walt Disney's crown jewel. It was simple, heartfelt, and human. A young woman gets hunted by her psycho stepmom, hides out with 7 quirky dudes, survives through kindness, hard work, and innocence, and is saved by true love. A kiss that symbolizes hope, grace, and emotional payoff. Boom, classic storytelling. Whereas this new Snow White doesn't know who she is. In one scene she's soft-spoken and sweet, like she's waiting for the prince to sweep her off her feet. Next scene she's barking orders like the CEO of a startup no one applied to. Around the dwarfs she was calm and caring, but around the bandits she's giving full Karen in the wild energy. Okay, maybe not as extreme as that, but you get my point. It's like the writers couldn't decide if she was supposed to be a leader, a victim, a romantic, or a motivational speaker. And remember, in the original Snow White, she cooked and cleaned in exchange for refuge, showing humility and appreciation. But in the remake, Snow White expects others to conform to her standards while offering nothing in return. Unless you count eye-rolling, sass, and narcissistic speeches as contributions. So, Rachel Zegler's version of Snow White doesn't have the charm, innocence, or emotional depth of the original. Honestly, she's less like a Disney princess and more like a Twitter thread in a tiara.
I'm a narcissist.
She doesn't grow, she doesn't really struggle, she just exists, flawless by default, while the movie keeps shoving it in our faces that she's the chosen one. And the romance, you mean that blink and you miss it chemistry-free speedrun of love? In the original, Snow White dreamed of a prince. Her song, Someday My Prince Will Come, was soft, vulnerable, and full of hope. It meant something. This remake, she meets a dude for like 5 seconds and we're suddenly supposed to believe they're soulmates. It's like watching a Hallmark movie at double the speed with no charm and all the cringe. Instead of a fairy tale romance, we got songs that sound like they were pulled from a TikTok trend. It's not inspirational, it's lazy. You don't get strong female leads by telling us they're powerful. You show it through their actions, their sacrifice, their growth, not a ukulele and a hashtag. And the kiss. Once a climactic, emotional peak of the movie, now it feels like a studio note stampled on a reshoot. In the original, it was symbolic, earned, emotional. In this one, it's so forgettable it might as well have been a side quest. The guy's a thief turned love interest with all the personality of a damp sock. Not exactly captivating. Now, there was a lot of controversy surrounding the dwarfs, but in the actual film I didn't think they were that bad. But what doesn't make sense to me is when one of them drops a bizarre line defending criminals because of greedy economic policies. Now, it's impossible to ignore the hypocrisy here. This is the same movie that says everything belongs to everyone, while also making Snow White the future successor to all the land, castles and power. So we're supposed to believe in utopia and monarchy at the same time. I mean, pick a lane. Either she's the queen of everything, or she's handing out socialist manifestos, but she can't be both. As for the evil queen, she might have made more sense than Snow White. Her motives were clear: jealousy, power, fear of irrelevance. Snow White, on the other hand, preaches about equality while barking orders, claiming royalty, and rewriting history. So when your villain has more depth and consistency than your lead, there's a problem. And in terms of justice, well, forget about it. In the original, the queen got what was coming. The dwarves chased her through a thunderstorm. The ending was dramatic, epic, and totally earned. But in the remake, the queen just throws a tantrum, breaks her mirror, and gets sucked into it like it's a metaphorical vacuum cleaner. No final battle, no resolution, all while Snow White literally just stands there like she's waiting for her Amazon order to arrive. And as for the whole ending, I guess it's fitting for a modern day remake because it just looks like a Diddy party to me. This whole mess of a movie is what happens when Hollywood tries to shove modern messaging into classic tales without any real care for narrative, logic or soul. Instead of crafting a story where the lead grows strong through trials, they just declare her strong from frame one and expect us to clap like trained seals. She doesn't earn respect, she demands it. No pain, no hardship, no humility, just vibes and entitlement. The original resonated because it felt real, relatable. It was about love, fear, kindness, jealousy, sacrifice, all the things that actually make us human. But don't get me wrong, Rachel Zegler can definitely sing, and that original Whistle While You Work song, that thing's catchy. The whole way home, my girlfriend would sing and I would do the whistle part, even when we got home, just whistle while you work. But yeah, I will say that if you just mindlessly watch the movie without really paying attention to what's happening, the details of what's being said, or the meaning behind it all, let alone comparing it to the original, it probably won't seem all that bad. But that's why I took my girlfriend with me, because she loves movies, especially Disney movies, so I knew she would at least try find some good in it. But this is all she had to say straight after the movie.
I think what was really good about this movie was the costume design. I think they got Snow White's blue, red and yellow dress spot on. The evil queen's dress as well. I think all the dresses that she wore and all her outfits were also spot on. The makeup was also on point, especially for the evil queen. For Snow White, I just would have loved to see a red lip on her. In the original movie, Snow White, she had red lips. It was narrated that she had red lips and she had the fair skin. Obviously, the red lip is quite important. So I wish I would have seen a red lip more. The animals were done really well. They were extremely cute. And yeah, that's kind of all I can think of at the moment.
But hey, it's not just me being a hater. This was genuinely a flop and everyone agrees. The movie got a 43% from the critics and a 24% from the audience on Rotten Tomatoes, a 1.2 on Metacritic, and an astounding 2.2 out of 10 on IMDb. So I promise, I'm not just hating, it's because the movie was just that bad. And this is evident due to the fact that movie theaters were like ghost towns during its opening weekend. That's almost unheard of for a Disney film. People were showing screenshots of one ticket bought and videos were going around of empty theaters. Now, I can personally confirm this too based on my own experience when I went to go watch the movie. Okay, we gotta give it a go. We're going in. As you can hear from my accent, I'm not from the United States, but if something does well cinematically there, it tends to do well where I live too. So this is a photo I personally took of the theater. Completely empty. And this was during the opening weekend at one of the peak times. There's literally 3 couples there and my girlfriend. So yeah, I literally paid to go watch Snow White and the 7 ticket sales. Mind you, this was also in our big premium theater, usually to accommodate for huge ticket sales for a massive movie release. But yeah, literally empty. I mean, there wasn't even a cardboard cutout or anything for this movie, but there was one for Minecraft. So let's talk numbers, because opening weekend was around $43 million domestic. That's bad, really bad. It was half of what The Little Mermaid opened to 2 years ago, and that had controversies of its own. The movie cost a rumored $300 million to make, and that's not even counting marketing. So to break even, it needed to make roughly $600 million globally, but it couldn't even cross $100 million globally in the opening. So Disney practically spent $300 million just to get roasted on Twitter for free. And so Snow White has officially earned the title of Disney's biggest box office flop. Not just a stumble, but a full-on tumble into abyss. The star sparked controversy, the plot forgot what made the original magical, and the marketing tried to polish a pumpkin into a carriage and, well, failed. But let me know in the comments if you watched the movie or not, and what your thoughts are. Because either way, one thing's clear. This Snow White remake didn't need a poisoned apple. Disney did that all on their own. Peace.